Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game Mess Mornings with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from GiantBomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest Switch 2 games of the year that is now not coming out until next year. And is Sony changing how it's releasing games again? We're going to talk to Baron Jones about this. That's how you know it's going to be a good one. Baron, how are you doing?
You know what? I don't have brown pants on anymore. Resident Evil is no longer on my screen.
There you go. Yes, you're safe.
So we're safe. You know, I'm definitely have a typewriter next to me. I'm in a secure space. There's no giant creatures banging at the door. So we're living.
Hey, you be careful in those spaces. I'm just saying, like, that typewriter isn't as safe as you might think it is. So watch out, buddy. Yeah, I am glad that everyone's able to get their hands on this game now. Did you just turn it on last night at midnight and you were playing?
Oh, so thank God for Pacific Standard Time. Yeah. So it was 9 p.m. I definitely was running it around like 9:30 because, of course, I'm gonna try to keep this as brief as possible. Long story short, I pre-ordered a physical deluxe back in November, and it won't be delivered until March 25th. Yay!
Wait, that's next month.
Yeah. So they got my money twice. Let's go, Capcom.
Oh my. Well, is there a word on what happened there? That's crazy.
Well, you know what? Oddly enough, and I thought we were going to talk about this. It's almost impossible to get a hold of a physical copy.
Oh, we talked about it on yesterday's show. Yes, we brought this up.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. And I thought I was getting ahead of that because of what I experienced with Monster Hunter Wilds, because I had to go to a Best Buy like out of town to pick up a physical copy. So I pre-ordered it as soon as it went available. Deluxe, it's got the Requiem on the cover, big dog steel case. I was ready.
So why aren't you getting it till March 25th? You were first one in line and all this stuff. What's up?
You know what? I said the Hunger Games. I was chosen as tribute. For those who come after. And it's I'll fall on this sword. I was gonna buy this game multiple times anyway.
Yeah. I'll be getting it again. If I had to buy, I already got a code, but it's like I definitely would have bought it twice for Switch and PC. So I'm going to be playing it on PC today after already playing it 1.5 times on Switch 2. Baron, before we get into things and before I introduce the show and all that stuff, have you been on Game Mess Mornings? I can't remember. If
no, this is my first time. I've been on the couch though.
You've been multiple times. We've hung out a bunch. It's always been great to have you on there. So for people that might not know you for Game Mess Mornings, why didn't you tell people about yourself, about your shows and stuff like that? I appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm Baron J67. That's the handle, but I am the co-owner and what am I? The communications director. You could tell
the leader
of LV1 Gaming. We are a gaming website that focuses on news, reviews, and everything in between. So you 1 month, our biggest article might be about gaming, shoes, and then the next one will be about what game Baron hasn't finished. But yeah, so right now we have 2 shows running. So Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have the LV1 Gaming Podcast. That's where you're going to get your general news, whatever's the hot topics for the previous week. And then of course on we're bi-weekly show, we have the Backlog Barbarians. Shout out to G Style Magazine and Geek Life Mike, Yo Nut Gaming, Julian over at True Nerd. These are all great people. And we have a show where we get together and literally talk about our backlogs. That's it. We don't do news. We just sit there and talk about what games we're working on, which games we finished. I finally finished The Witcher 3. Yes, shame me. That doesn't mean I didn't have it. I had The Witcher 3 5 different times. Don't ask how, but yes. And I finally finished it. Now, don't ask if I did all the DLC because those are different games in my book.
Wait, how'd you feel about The Witcher 3 when you were done with it?
It felt really good, and I'm glad I finished it now because I think I would have been angry if I would have finished it back when it first launched, because that's a long window for the way it ended. It ended like a TV show. Like season 2's around the corner. That's really how it ended. And it's more enjoyable because I know what's on the horizon.
Sure.
But if I did not know, and especially with the way gaming has gone from that point to now, I would have been kind of mad. I could just being honest. Spoiling an 11-year-old game. No. But yeah, no, knowing where we're going with the Witcher series, it was a great ending.
Cool. Excellent. Well, very good. LV1 Gaming. People were posting
Yes.
links in chat. People should follow that. Go check out Baron and the crew. I've been on the show a handful of times. It's always excellent. So much fun. You guys got some good sound clips
You
of
got to
me.
come back. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. You say the word, I'll make it happen. As far as all this goes, we should explain ourselves. Hey, we're Giant Bomb. It's we're internet video game doofuses. We're making dumb stuff on the internet, and then we're talking about video game news, and we want to keep doing all that in the best way possible. There's the E3's
The
dead merch.
classic
Hell yeah,
merch.
Baron.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Man, mine dissolved in the wash. How do you still
me
have
too.
that, Baron?
Yeah, I know.
So, as
Okay,
a big
please
man,
teach white people how to do laundry. I need this.
Okay, so as a big man who it's very hard to find clothes my size. You know, I wear 3X, 4X. So when I don't dry my clothes. I do not dry my clothes. So I wash on cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wash on cold and I hang dry or air dry all of my t-shirts. My t-shirts are never this shirt I'm wearing, this Red Sox shirt, yes, done on them, baseball season. But this shirt is over 15 years old. I used to work at the mall before I had kids and before I had married. My oldest is about to be 10 years old, and this is before I was even married. So
that's why I got like confused though, because I definitely have t-shirts. That old fart shirt I wear sometimes that the chat always laughs at. I got that thrift shopping in high school, so that is 2001. That's 25 goddamn years old when I got it, and I got it from a thrift store. And I dry that in a dryer all the time, and it stood up to all this time, no problem. It feels like all these new shirts you can't dry. I think that's what I'm learning is I gotta like recognize that they're using cheaper quality, and I gotta dry and rack because I knew this was the problem. It's just nice to get it confirmed and see that you have the exact same shirt that I have, and yours looks pristine.
Good. Yeah, the black is still black. You know, it's not all gray. And this, I got this when it first dropped. So, and believe me, I wear it a lot. Whenever I play horror games, Mike always looks after me.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. What does that mean? Oh my God, Jeff is only 5 years older than me. You should they should be. Oh man, I can't believe we're basically the same age. What am I that much older, seeming? Anyway, you can check us out on giantbomb.com/join. Become a premium member. It ensures we can keep doing what we're doing. There's no corporations back there pulling the strings. We don't have Tencent as a secret backer. We have you, and we are so grateful to all of you to come through and make sure that we can keep making this stuff. Gets you ad-free shows, gets you a bunch of goodies. We got a bunch of premium shows. Marry Me Tomodachi, go watch that. It's the best dating show on the internet right now. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with that February 2026 Pokémon Presents Pokémon Day recap of announcements. I'm going to go through what is basically the email from the Pokemon Company. There were new games, Pokemon Wins and Pokemon Waves, now confirmed. These are the new open world-ish RPGs that they've been doing, and it looks pretty impressive, relatively speaking, because it's Switch 2 only and not coming out until 2027. Baron, what do you think about that? Because I was agreeing. Mike kept telling me that was going to be the big holiday game, and Sean then, of course, rightfully pointed out Pokemon Company operates on its own separate schedule from Nintendo. They don't necessarily care about Nintendo's needs. They do what they need to do, and so they might be releasing this game when it's done, which is something very new for Pokemon. I'm getting a little bit encouraged by what I'm seeing here, Baron. How about you?
You know what? I was told, and I'm going to throw him under the bus, the head of Level 1 Gaming, LV1 Gaming fame, FAME, he said that these Pokemon look like they're getting ready to get a cease and desist from the Pokemon Company.
Oh, they look...
starters. They look...
Is that just like the first time you see a Pokemon, you're like, I don't know, it doesn't look right, and then 6 months later, you never think that again?
I personally, when I seen it, I think it's just 30 years of Pokemon. Like
Yeah.
at some point we were gonna hit this wall. When you started seeing like wind chimes and ice cream cones and
Oh, you mean the real Pokemon?
Yeah, once we got to that point, it's like how much more, and I think Pokemon jumped too early with the missing no. With the unknowns and the letters. Like I think they should have saved that for when they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, they probably didn't know what to do even back then. Like, we've already got like 5 dogs. Can we do it? Are we still going to be doing a dog in 30 years? And it's yes, Pombon is great. This is fun stuff. Yeah, I bet that stuff fades away quick. You get used to them, and then suddenly it's like, especially once you pick one and you play a whole game with them, it's like, oh yeah, I built up this relationship, and now this also just feels like authentic Pokemon to me as well. Those 3 starters are Brout, a grass type bird owl Pokemon. And then there's Pombon, which is a Pomeranian fire dog Pokemon, and then Gekwa, which is a water lizard, like Aqua but gecko. And yeah, I thought all of them are pretty solid. And I saw in chat there was a lot of people like already selecting theirs, and there was good representation across the board. Although I think Pombon seems like an early favorite for a lot. I think I'm going with Brout. I like that bird.
I'm going Gekwa. One, because the name just sounds cool. And maybe it's just the way you pronounce it. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced because I didn't get to hear the name. But maybe we might get a hint of voice acting in Winds and Waves. Like,
Do you really believe that?
Oh, Baron.
No, I don't. Could you imagine? Like, I think the first voice acting we're gonna get in a Pokemon game is gonna be like a psychic type Pokemon's gonna talk, and it's gonna blow the minds of everybody.
And he just has a Psycho Mantis's voice.
Yes.
Yeah. I can tell here you like Castlevania. What are you talking about? You're just a Pokemon. Why are you saying these things?
300 hours in Mario Kart.
All right, Pokemon Champions. This is coming in April 2026. It is. Sean, help me. This is the battling game, the one that's like the battle mode, but just like a standalone version of that, right? And it's coming to mobile eventually.
So basically the competitive side of Pokemon that people play within the games right now and everything, they take the multiplayer mode, they took it very seriously. It's kind of like Smash. Eventually competitive modes were added to the game. That's getting separated out into its own thing, its own app. It's being done by Ilka, who has supported the Pokemon Company and Game Freak for a while now. And so hopefully this will take some of the stress off of Game Freak so that they can do things like focus on making an actual decent modern single player game, right?
Yeah, and that's the hope with Winds and Waves. We only kind of touched on that a little bit, but I mean, there really isn't much to know at this point. It's like it looks better for sure. It's coming to Switch 2 exclusively, so there's a lot of reasons to be excited. And then when it comes to stuff like Champions, there's going to be a lot of stuff in the meantime for people to play, including Pokemon Pocopia, which is out next week. Cozy multiplayer adventure game made by the people that did Dragon Quest Builders. It's looking very similar to that, and that's parentheses positive. And then it has some Viva Pinata elements because that's how you got to attract Pokemon to your town, your village, your farm, whatever it is. I like this last look at it. It's like, yeah, this looks really cute, and it looks very like juvenile, and I think also in a pretty good way, where it's like, oh, they are going for a younger audience with the visuals. But I bet the game is going to be pretty deep and complex, especially with them promising always online shared servers for worlds. It's like, oh wow, wasn't expecting them to kind of think about this game in that way, and here they are. I'm probably going to jump in there with some friends and try to spend some time there. What do you think about Pocopia?
Do you think okay, I'm gonna tell you, I wonder is this gonna be the turning point for Pokemon that because I think this is gonna, even though Pokemon's already reached one of the widest audiences ever, especially with Pokemon Go and whatnot.
It's spin-offs always feel like it's like just for like a subset of the freaks, right?
Yeah. But the positive of this is the core of the game is something that a majority of people already love.
This one feels like a good spin-off, and like it could be like another tier over here on the side for them to like work on for a long period of time. Like they've already kind of done this with ZA, with Legends. Like that's like, oh, this is a pathway for Pokemon to take, and we can kind of do these side by side. And then we have a bunch of spinoffs down here. It always felt like, why aren't there more spinoffs that are like just shooting up and being just as popular as some of these other games? I like that was the logic I had for I counterpicked Vampire Crawlers and Fantasy Critic. And it's like they already made that one really good game. What are the chances that this other one's going to be amazing? And now, of course, it's going to be. It's like, oh, indie developers do this all the time. I think it's now we could expect Pokemon, if this game hits pretty hard, the Pokemon company to be like, yeah, we are going to be investing in that long term, because it feels like a good fit for the kinds of people who like Pokemon and the kinds of people who like these kinds of games.
I think it's gonna do like Marvel Rivals style boom. I really believe so, because you're hitting with you have all the namesakes, you have the lore is already there, the world's already established. Now you're just throwing in mechanics from games that are already successful, and I think we're gonna see that type of boom.
Yep. There were some updates and releases as well for other games, that Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green versions. They just reminded people that's out now. You can go get those. The Legends ZA Mega Dimension got re-revealed. This one, even people who are in the know seem confused. A new mystery gift unlocks a special battle to obtain Mega Garchompite Z for a new form in Mega Man, for Mega Garchomp Z, whatever. I don't even know what I'm reading anymore, but people were just like, wasn't this already out? I guess it's like a small little part of that DLC. And then they had updates for Pokemon Go, the trading card game, Pocket, Pokemon Sleep Unite, Pokemon Masters EX, and Pokemon Cafe Remix, as they always do in these Pokemon Day streams. And then there was events and merch. They are going to continue that advertising campaign they've been doing that started at the Super Bowl and then was a huge part of the Olympics. The Who's Your Favorite, where they keep bringing celebrities on to talk about their favorite Pokemon. They are spending money on marketing for Pokemon this year. And then there's the XP event and Pokemon World Championship. So a lot of in-person events. Those are happening in SF. Jan's gonna probably go to that. Sean, you're thinking about going to one of these things, right? Maybe the championships?
It would be that one, yeah, because Pokemon XP is happening the same weekend as Worlds. And so, Worlds has become so big that's kind of like a convention of itself.
Right.
And Pokemon XP, they're kind of separating out a little bit of that so that can be its own standalone event that fans can kind of just show up at, hang out, and not necessarily worry about the competition as much. So, yeah, if I hang out with Jan for Worlds this year, that was kind of the plan, then I would be going to XP as well.
Just grab me some enamel pins, please.
Oh, you got
it. Of course, yeah. Last two things here, and Sean, while I have you talking, were you able to suss out exactly what was going on with that expansion for the trading card game? Where it seemed like
I kind of forgot about this. Poke Beach, shout outs. John does incredible work over there with like Pokemon TCG journalism. He sussed out a while back from a trademark that we are getting a 30th anniversary set this year, like a celebration set. They always do this for anniversaries where they invoke old cards or reprint old cards or something like that. That seems to be what they're doing here. They're going to reprint some old favorites. They did this not too long ago for the 25th anniversary, I believe. But they're doing that again, bringing back some classic cards as well as introducing some new cards, and that'll be all in one one celebration set that, as Jan pointed out, the weirdos will like try to beat each other to death in Costco for. Meanwhile, the rest of us will just like buy them piecemeal from our local card shop.
Chunky Pikachu.
Oh yeah, super back. Cute. We love our fat Pikachus. And then finally, of course, they had a stupidly cool and probably expensive piece of merch: the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue Game Music Collection / Game Boy Jukebox. It is a little Game Boy looking music player in which you put in what are effectively hit clips versions of the Pokemon soundtracks, and then you put in this Game Boy and it starts playing. It's like, man, okay. Of course, Nintendo monetizing hit clips in 2026. I said Nintendo. I know it's the Pokemon company, but they would do the same thing. I want this dumb thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I absolutely want it. I want the Game Boy Legos. I want all of these things. I as you can see, I have no room and nowhere to put it. So I gotta negotiate with my loved one to see if she can let me mount it up in its glory in the main.
Start taking over other rooms in the house. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to move.
Yeah, you need room to breathe. Right, exactly. Yeah. Let's see. I thought it was a pretty good stream. Pokemon Days. It it is what we always expected to be, because they, as Sean was saying, as we were getting ready to like go into the stream, they operate on obvious patterns. They do the same thing for these things. They have a blueprint they follow. They did that here. There was just, I think, the surprise that Pokemon Winds and Waves is not coming out until 2027. What do you think that means for the Switch 2 this year, Baron?
Like every other game company in the world right now, I think everybody's fearing Godzilla, that is Grand Theft Auto 6. Like I really think that's all that is. And I, I honestly, I really think that's all it is. Like everybody's just trying to maneuver past that, and I feel like there's like 3 or 4 companies, and the Pokemon Company would be one to know the official release date.
I also think Pokemon Company, just like they operate in such different circles, I think there might be something to what Sean was saying about like they just want to like get the game right, because they have those patterns weren't just like for marketing. Those patterns were for how they release games. Like they would forever, everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll just get one this year because we'll get a new gen this year because it's been 3 years. And they kind of recently have just been waiting 3 years, and then we get a new gen. And they've broken that now. It's already been longer than that, and now it's going to be even longer than what was expected. And it's like, I think now that they've kind of given themselves this extra time, they're taking the extra time. Like, why don't we see kind of how far we can push it, especially since we did just have a pretty, like, a very successful Legends ZA, and what could turn out to be a very successful Pokopia. So yeah, I think they're trying to like reestablish new norms for how they push out their games. And then it probably doesn't hurt that they can avoid the maelstrom that will be this holiday.
This holiday.
Nice. Although that game's not going to be on Switch 2, Grand Theft Auto 6, so it's like a kind of a very different thing for people considering how to release games on that platform. All right, let's do this next one. The story behind the failure of Highguard. This is from Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. We were kind of waiting for him to drop this story. It seemed like early on, like he was talking to people there. It is what a lot of the conversations have kind of nailed this so far. According to the reporting, he's kind of confirming what we've known for the most part, but it is nice to kind of see it all just laid out. Wildlight Entertainment, founded in 2021 by former Apex Legends developers, has nearly completely folded shortly after the launch of its first game, the multiplayer shooter Highguard. The studio was initially created with a profit share model and funded to some extent by Tencent. Development pivoted from a survival-focused shooter for Highguard to the raid shooter format in early 2024. Despite positive internal and external testing, Highguard was complex and lacked necessary voice chat for an optimal experience. Leadership opted against an open beta so they could replicate the surprise launch of Apex Legends, resulting in no community buzz when the game was announced in December and launched in late January. Highguard saw a high initial concurrent player count upon its free-to-play launch on January 26th, but suffered from a catastrophic 90% player retention loss. It's more than that now. I guess that was within 1 week. Critics criticized the game for confusing mechanics and overly large maps. And this report also says, like, hey, they just kind of didn't test this thing in any real world setting at all. Like, they didn't want to like do public testing because they didn't want to ruin the Apex Legends style launch, which people are confused about why they wanted in the first place. Because it's like that people at EA knew that they did that Apex Legends style launch because they were kind of forced into it. They didn't want to have months of drawn out conversation about not doing another Titanfall, so they just wanted to drop Apex Legends on people. But because this test for Highguard, Baron, was internal, they kind of had things in the best case scenario, developers there to answer questions, voice chat forced on for every match, so players were communicating perfectly, as opposed to how it works in the real world, where often you're in there with other people who do not have microphones. Once it got into the real world, those problems were much bigger than this team were anticipating, and it caused the game to kind of skid to a halt in that first week. And then in that first week, the game did not hit its initial retention numbers as laid out in the contract with Tencent. So when Tencent was going to come through with more money as like, okay, the game is launched, let's go to the next step. And the team's like, oh, and we have months and months of funding and runway here to iterate on the game. That evaporated in an instant, went away, and the studio has effectively all but folded. So anything new here to you? Any like extra color to like explain what like the story? What do you think?
Yeah, them choosing to try to do a surprise drop, like them debating back and forth internally. Like, come on, you live in a different time now. Like, everybody wants to lead with, at least on social media, when we all know perception is reality, right? The negativity, like, everybody wants to bash on something, and you got to put stuff in people's hands now. Give
Yeah.
people a chance. Let especially a free to play clearly wouldn't hurt you. Like, let people try the game. And then seeing the 10-cent thing and them pulling the money, it's spooky to have a game that's clearly looking to thrive off of longevity have that type of like quarterly deal, and then let's surprise drop. You think that would have meant like, let's have a great release, let's have it was like they were working against themselves.
Yep. Yeah. I think that they didn't realize it, and then it only became obvious in that first week that they made some choices that weren't going to benefit them in this very different market, as you pointed out. Things have changed since Apex Legends has launched, and they just absolutely have. Like that, they launched in a world where we were kind of like, could there be another battle royale? Like, obviously, there's going to be more premium price Call of Duties and Battlefield, and there's probably going to be some others in that space. And it's like, no, Fortnite kind of took over, and then really there just is Call of Duty, and then the occasional Battlefield that does pretty well or extremely well, as this last one did. And it's like, okay, so where do these other games try to fit into this space? And there's no obvious answer, and Highguard ran right into that wall. All right, so I mean, that kind of wraps it up for Highguard. I think like there's probably not much more that is going to come out of that game. I would expect them to sunset it here pretty quickly. It doesn't feel like they're going to be able to rescue it, but who knows? We'll see. If they do, we will talk about it. In the meantime, we got to take a break for some ad messages. We got plenty of more headlines to get into after that. So if you want to skip out on these, go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member, get the ad-free version of the audio and video show there. In the meantime, we will be right back. It's Game Mess Mornings. Baron Jones, Jeff Grubb. Let's do this. Next story here is Sony is backing away from their exclusive console stuff on PC. This is from Jonas Mackey at Game Reactor. For years, we have been moving toward more multiplayer and greater openness between formats, with almost everything coming to PC and sometimes even competing platforms. But perhaps the pendulum is swinging back a little. Over the weekend, we reported that that new Xbox boss, Asha Sharma, responded, "Hear you," to fans who asked about exclusives coming back to Xbox. And now journalist Jason Schreier says in the Triple Click podcast that while he believes Sony's multiplayer titles will be released across platforms in the future, single-player titles may not. He believes that Sony is currently, quote, backing away from putting their exclusive console stuff like traditional single-player stuff on PC. Therefore, he argues PC gamers should not take it for granted that they will get to play Marvel's Wolverine, and he called that one out specifically. All right, Baron, I agree with the assessment here by Jonas Mackey in the story that it feels a little bit just like the pendulum swinging back. It's still going to be a pendulum. The pendulum is an average of behaviors. I think there will be some weightedness where it's like, okay, maybe exclusives are a little bit more back because of this Wolverine game. Super important. Isn't going to ever come to PC for whatever reason. I still think some games will. They just got through announcing Death Stranding 2 for the PC very quickly. Yes. Now, that's a slightly different circumstance. It's a Kojima joint. He has a lot of ownership over that, if not all ownership. I know that early on Sony did own it. I can't remember if they still have some ownership over that brand. But either way, it is a different situation. That's not one of their internal studios. Still, though, they are doing that very quickly, and they agreed to that. Now, maybe things have changed since they made that initial agreement for that game. Seems like they probably have. At the very least, here's what I could say, Baron, based on looking into this myself. This is a conversation they have all the time, still inside of Sony. And the conversation is kind of back to a point where it's like, yeah, we probably should continue to rethink some things. Where it's going, like where the decision falls, I don't know if it's that simple, because I think it's going to be a case-by-case basis is kind of what I'm thinking. But there's certainly smoke, and I bet there's fire to this conversation. Oh, yeah. What do you think?
So I think just people say they don't like exclusives, but let's be honest, exclusives will make you go and pick up a console.
Yeah, it makes it feel special.
It is. It simply is that. Or if it's a big enough IP or a big enough story, a big enough game, you want to experience it. And you will go in if you can, you will go out and pick up this thing. And I could you imagine if Wolverine was exclusive to only the console? Wolverine is a big enough IP. Like,
yeah.
People would go out and buy a console. I could hear kids now. You know, like I want Wolverine. I want Wolverine. You know, come on. Look, Spider-Man did it. Like it's hey, if they want to sell consoles, which I always believe PlayStation and Sony always has. I feel like they've always wanted to move consoles. They want you to buy their box. This is a best way to do it.
And honestly, we might be in like the kind of a perfect storm situation right in this moment where it might make sense for Sony to emphasize that again, because Xbox might be changing things up. Xbox might be launching a new console here in the next year and a half, 2 years or something like that. And they want to be prepared for people maybe making whatever reason to choose that. If you can right now say, hey, this is the only place you're ever going to be able to play Wolverine, so buy our system for that, and then you'll be ready for Grand Theft Auto 6. And this is one of only 2 places you can play that game for at least the first year, probably. And the other one is Xbox. And like, why would you buy an Xbox when you just get Wolverine and PlayStation? And then they really set themselves up for, like, what we all know. Like, I mean, everyone watching this show knows we talk about it all the time. We talked about it for years. We kind of been de-emphasizing it because things have changed, but these companies make a lot of money from selling microtransactions and selling other people's games and content. Sony, half of their revenue from PlayStation apparently comes from doing that. So why wouldn't they want to be bolstering that? And the only answer we had to that question, Baron, was, well, they're not doing it anymore. They're putting the games on PlayStation and maybe even more games on Switch. They put a couple of games on Switch, Lego Horizons. Now, maybe those games didn't perform very well, and that kind of reframed this conversation internally. And I bet that was definitely part of it as well. It just seems like the more they invest in making PlayStation feel important, the more they reap that reward, as opposed to just be like, the games are going to feel special somewhat, but they'll be on PC in like 6 months. They made money by putting those games on PC, but did they make enough to sort of offset the excitement that they might have diminished on PlayStation? Yeah. What do you think?
And no, absolutely. I don't think it was worth it. In the sense of, you have more people playing your game. Like, that's obviously that's awesome, right? But we would rather take half of that or a quarter of those people and have them playing on our console, because then after you're done with that game, we're going to update our library and show you that, hey, we have this game that's in our classic pack. And if you get our PlayStation Plus, you could get this. And it, like you said, lean into the microtransactions and further, look, we want you here. Like, that's really what it is. All these companies, they want you here, and they've always had one of the best ways to get you to come to the PlayStation and be home with us, and it was their exclusives. Like, I mean, look how they ran The Last of Us dry. Like, you don't do that for no reason. Like, that's not an accident. Clearly it worked. So why wouldn't you want to do that with Marvel?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, well, let's take it a step further. Disney. Like, why would you want to do that? I remember, and I go back to Hogwarts Legacy, and I bring this up a lot. A lot of people thought Hogwarts Legacy was an exclusive to PlayStation. Like, I remember being in GameStops and Best Buys, and once again, I gotta say this: I've never seen any. Only consoles I've seen purchased in person have been PlayStations. With the flimsy box, you see people, and they always tell them, make sure to hold the bottom, and then they like walk out. And I remember people picking up PlayStations for Hogwarts Legacy.
Yes, right, yeah.
House Slytherin. We bleed green here in this home, and it's a real. I've seen people buy consoles for one game.
Yes, I mean, I think that's more common than I certainly realized, for sure. I'll say that it's like, I'm not too worried about this because I don't think this is some like permanent thing. I think this is them sort of just reassessing real quick, and it will be a small gap. And I do think Wolverine will be on PC eventually. It just might be the more traditional 2 or 3 years, as opposed to like what it seemed like it was going to be, which is like 6 months or shorter. Everything's going to be 6 months or shorter. They're working on a PlayStation launcher for PC, and they're going to have PC cross-buy and all this stuff. All these rumors of things that they were working on, which they certainly were. And it's like, okay, maybe they just reassessed that and they're kind of pausing. But they've done that work. They know what it looks like. And I bet as things oscillate and the pendulum swings, we're going to go back in the other direction again very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's much longer after Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out that things sort of get reassessed. The hardware situation sort of irons itself out slowly over the next several years. People reassess and these companies go, wait, why are we stopping putting stuff on PC? That's my belief. That's why I'm not too worried about this. As someone who certainly plays most of my games on PC at this point, I was loving this trend. This was a best case scenario. But I certainly see why Sony is making this decision if they are, and I just don't think it's going to be that draconian of a thing where it's like we are locking this all down. The walled garden is back 100%. It's just not. That's not the
genie. The genie's out of the lamp. Like you know,
we're not going back.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. Sony confirms a major PS5 Pro upgrade is rolling out today with Resident Evil Requiem. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. A major update is rolling out for PlayStation 5 Pro today in the form of improved pisser upscaling tech. Sony has confirmed which debuts in Resident Evil Requiem. That's pretty exciting. Pisser is Sony's answer to Nvidia's DLSS, a machine learning-based upscaler that improves game resolution without impacting performance. Announced last year, the improved pisser is based on AMD's Fizzer 4 and arrives as part of Sony and AMD's Project Amethyst initiative, where they are working together. Basically, they kind of list some stuff that it does better at. It's better because it's the new transformer technology model as opposed to the old convolutional neural network. Basically, they had an old version of these upscaling techs that all of these things used previously. And then all the other ones, DLSS a long time ago, FSR relatively a long time ago, switched to this new way of doing things. Pisser was still on the old way. Now it's on the new way. They did it with the help of AMD. So just necessarily it's going to be better. Excuse me, for small details like hairs and like big, wide angle scenes where you see a lot of distance all at one time. It'll be better at handling that. It'll be better at handling sort of temporal data. So as things move through a space in 3D space-time, it's better at like understanding that movement because it can use data from like a timeline. So yeah, overall, like this is pretty cool news. It's surprising that we are kind of really getting what feels like a pretty major update for a console this far in. It's something I always thought like, oh, maybe that'll happen with the Xbox One. Microsoft has all this machine learning stuff. Maybe they'll find a way to make these games look better and kind of give it a faux Xbox Pro upgrade halfway through. This certainly feels that way. Now, this is just for the PS5 Pro. This stuff is not on the standard PS5. But either way, people paid a lot of money for their Pro, getting more of their money's worth out of it, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Because I'm the average gamer's average gamer. So when you were speaking all the acronyms and I was like, yeah. But no, and I'm glad you broke it down. So hey, if it's gonna make my game look prettier, and it's not, and then you're gonna give me that real value that I paid for, because I remember when the when the PS5 Pro launched, a lot of folks were complaining on social media about not feeling the difference.
Yeah, I still bought one. Yeah.
See, yeah, same. I don't have one. But getting that value, you know, personally, I think that kind of extends the life of this bad boy. Like, you know, especially with the way everything's going with with chips and the markets and development and 1/3 of the industry backing out from the public. Like, you know, stuff like this is a positive, and hopefully, like you said, it does go across Xbox kind of picks that up and makes a shift as well, because I mean, hey, who knows when we're going to get the next consoles? Like, or if there'll even be a true leap, because will they have the capacity to make that leap, you know?
Yeah, at a reasonable price, right? It's like it would be a leap if they were willing to make one that costs $1,300.
Exactly.
Anything less than $1,000, like what can they really get away with? It's going to be tough. Yeah, I think you're right that this helps them position the consoles to last longer, which is something they definitely want right now. This will be the only game for now that supports this. 50 games support the standard pisser, which is PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Just a made up term. Everybody it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, exactly. 50 games support that. Many of those will get upgraded to this new version of pisser starting in March, I believe. So. Yeah, it's not going to be immediate outside of Resident Evil Requiem, but hey, Resident Evil Requiem, we'll talk about it at the end of the show here in a second. That's an event game. That is a game people are showing up for, kind of on that one tier below Grand Theft Auto. And it's like, okay, that people are going to want it in this game. It's good that you launched it with this one, right?
Yep. I agree 1000%.
All right. Speaking of hardware, Nvidia promises very tight graphics card supply won't improve anytime soon as prices continue to spike. Basically, he's just like, yeah, this is, I'll just read the quote. As much as we would love to have more supply, we do believe for a couple of quarters it is going to be very tight. CEO Jensen Huang said during this week's earnings call. If things improve by the end of the year, there is an opportunity to think about what that is from a year-over-year growth point of view, but it is still too early for us to know at this time. We will get back to you as soon as we can. Now, I want to give another story here real quick, Baron, to show you just how bad things are actually. So, Samsung makes memory. And they make memory for a bunch of different things. But one of the vendors they work with is Apple. Apple buys a lot of memory for iPhones from Samsung. And Samsung was hoping that they were going to be able to raise the price 60%, kind of across the board for these companies that's selling its low-powered DDR RAM. It's a DDR memory for. And so, okay. So they opened up negotiations with Apple. Okay, what if it's a 100% increase in price? And Apple went, how dare you? We accept. Right away they accepted. No negotiation, no counteroffer. Right away, a doubling of price to provide memory for iPhone, one of the best-selling computers every year for the last 20 years. That is a bad sign because what that tells me is Apple, which is the company that has one of the best supply chains in the world. That's what they really have done better than anyone else. That was Tim Cook's job with supply chain. They know what things are going to cost. To me, this says to them, we're getting a deal.
Yep.
We only have to pay twice as more right now, as opposed if we get in line right now, we commit, as opposed to if we waited a couple of weeks and it would be 3 times as more. They jumped on that. That says they know something. It's gonna keep going up, up, up. It's bad out there, right, Baron?
It's absolutely horrible. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they extended that deal in terms of the time frame, just to lock in that price for at least a few generations, on at least a year or two, because it's like, hey, we'll take that. Like that is scary. Like, like seeing the RAM market go from what would be $100 to $300, like across the board. I'm so glad. Okay, so the only reason I upgraded my computer, my PC, is because it broke and I cashed in on my insurance. And it was like 2 months before all of this went down. That's the only reason I did it. And I seen somebody rocking like a fake gold chain, and it was like RAM. It was like RAM 6. Like
I have some gold RAM DDR4. That's kind of a system. I should make a necklace out of that.
I'm telling you, because that you're walking around with gold bricks, sir. Like you need security. You need a team. But no, this is insane. I don't know how else to put it. It's scary because the bottom line, us as consumers, we're going to be the ones to feel this. Like there's no way these companies are going to eat this. No way. We're going to be paying $2,000. What was it? $1,000 for a phone. Now it's going to be $2,000. Like these are the type of numbers, and it's not. I feel like I'm not even being dramatic enough.
No.
For how bad this is going to be. First off, how bad it is, and how it's going to equate across the board. Like it's horrible.
And companies are already finding ways to creatively raise the price. Something I've talked about a bunch. Another expert is now kind of confirming as well. Nintendo already made a subtle Switch 2 price hike. Expert says, this is from Thomas Franzes at GameSpot. Nintendo's discontinuation of the $500 Nintendo Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart World is akin to a price hike, according to expert video game industry consultant Matthew Ball. Speaking to the game business following the release of the State of Video Gaming in 2026 report, the conversation drifted toward the DRAM crisis the video game industry currently faces and all the price hikes that have been happening as a result. Ball argued that while the base price of Switch 2 hasn't gone up yet, the discontinuation of the Mario Kart World Bundle is essentially a price increase for most people. And from day one, we were having conversations on this show when they announced that was the SKU model, where it's like, here's 450, here's 500 with Mario Kart World, and we're telling you right now it's temporary. It's like, oh, this is them building in a trapdoor so that they can stealthily raise prices when they need to. And if they want to, they could reintroduce that bundle whenever they want at 520. And at that point, it's like, okay, so now we've effectively gotten $20 more out of most people because this is how they're going to buy it. In the meantime, you have to buy the game separate from the $450 version. So they already are getting $20 more out of you if you are buying Mario Kart World. And certainly if you're buying the game, you're just going to be paying more. This is how they have been thinking ahead on these things. Now, Baron, I do think they are probably already maximizing like what they can do stealthily and creatively. And they are also probably still feeling pressure to raise prices because things are going up so much more than anyone predicted, right? So this quiet little price increase could quickly turn into a very loud one, right?
Oh, 1,000,000%. I remember when they first announced the price, this price point, the first thing we were saying behind the scenes was like, oh, go buy it now if you're thinking about buying it. Like we live in a world now where you can almost guarantee the price of a console is going to go up, not down. Like we live in a different world now
for a long time now. Yep.
Yeah. Like this is a new world and things don't get cheaper. Blame nostalgia. I don't know. But so knowing that if you're thinking about getting in, get in. Or go, Macari or something, or eBay, and like,
yeah. I mean, well, or go get your illegal ROMs on Myriant, the website I would never say out loud until now because they announced they're shutting down yesterday. They were shutting down in March. Everybody, so cool. I'm gonna go walk into the fucking ocean. We can't have anything. You know what are the reasons that the people who run Myriant gave for shutting down this incredible resource for downloading ROMs? RAM prices. It's coming for the old games too. It's too expensive to host the goddamn website.
Whoa!
I'm in hell.
No,
it's bad across the board. So it's like if we can't afford to run our old ROM sites, and those have to go away, you bet your ass we're getting price increases on stuff like a Switch 2 at some point. So, I'm not going to tell people to go rush out and get these things because make them earn it. But I mean, they're also going to make you pay more while they make you earn it. So, or you make them earn it. So
what future are we closer to? Is it Dune? Is it Cyberpunk? Is it
right? I mean, I wish we were closer to Dune in some ways because then at least we get a little bit of a nice little technocratic jihad, and we can
take down Apple. No.
We could go get Luigi and do something about this. But I don't think we're that close to that, unfortunately. Yeah. All right, let's hit these last couple of stories. We're going long now. Guitar Hero studio RedOctane returns with spiritual successor Stage Tour. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. A newly reformed RedOctane Games revealed its upcoming spiritual successor to Guitar Hero. The studio has revealed Stage Tour, a new music title currently in active development with plans to release by the 2026 holiday season. According to the studio, Stage Tour will be a long-term platform created in conjunction with the community and will continue to evolve following its release. It's kind of the way this thing probably has to go because, I mean, I think the only alternative to something like this, Baron, is you position it as a plug-and-play. Just plug it into here's an HDMI box. You plug that into the back of your TV. It's got 25 songs on it and a controller string is connected to a cord through the back and one person plays. And it's in Walmart in the As Seen on TV section for $79.99. That's the only other way they're going to be able to get away with this right now. And this is much more respectable and probably easy to make money long-term if you can really build a platform. What do you think the appetite is for a Guitar Hero platform to return?
People want to feel things again. People, this is why Game Informer's back in stores. This is why, people are buying physical. This is why
people are on the GiantBomb.com forum. Yeah.
Yeah. See, people want to feel something. So in saying that, they definitely, maybe this is where they can partner up with Pokemon and do the hit clips and create a hit clips guitar thing where it Bluetooths to the screen. And you just slide in the track on a chip.
Cut the check,
Did
Nintendo.
I just give everybody $1 billion idea
Yeah,
here?
you got to get cut in on that.
You go to the store and there's like instead of CD racks, it's a hit clip rack, and it's like, what game do you want? What song do you want to play?
I mean, it's
and
a
you
dumb
go buy
future,
your
but
tracks.
it's the one I want. Yeah.
Yeah, because guess what? You'll own that song forever. No,
Yes.
you'll own that song forever.
Oh yeah.
Because it'll be on that chip, and as long as you got a little battery, you'll be able to red, yellow, and green.
I want the songs to come on the e-card reader thing for the Game Boy Advance, and just like I have to swipe like 15 cards to hear "Call Me Baby." All right, or "Call Me Maybe." I'm sorry, that was bad. That's where I'm at today, everybody. Marathon Server Slam gets big player numbers on Steam. I'm trying to find the exact number. Yeah, 143,621 concurrent players. Not bad, right? This is like this is their opportunity to prove to the world Marathon's going to be a thing. And this is how you start it, right? You get an initial big bang, and then on Saturday, if that grows a significant amount, you're like, something's happening in Marathon land, right? And they could next week begin charging for this game. They will, and people might show up if they're excited from what they play right now. What are you thinking?
I think this is also a great way to address some of the issues that Highguard skipped on, like pivoting
clearly.
to bigger teams. Maybe you add a different number of players in the map at the same time. Like these are the things you can test out and make adjustments for. And then honestly, I've been a firm believer that $40 is that magic price point in today's world. Like that's that 3 meals at McDonald's money. And you can go and have a game. It's horrible. Oh, dude, yeah. That's why I'm with you with the technological jihad. I'm all with it, dude. Because we are, But that $40 is that sweet spot, and that's enough money for me to roll the dice. Like
sure, right. That's a number that you can reasonably approach your friend group. And make that argument. 3 meals at McDonald's, right? You get beyond that, it's really hard. Now, obviously, the friend slop corner of guys, it's $7. Let's fucking go. They have that cornered, and it's like that's working really well for them. That is not viable for a big game like Marathon. So what is their what was the game that was $8 is $5 still or whatever? It's something, yeah. Was that Peak? I can't remember what it was.
I think it was Peak. Yeah.
It might have been Peak. It's like, I think for these games, $40 still feels like $32 in some ways, especially like when it launches on Steam and it does have that 10% discount right on day one, and it's $32. That makes it a little bit easier. Okay, last thing here. Resident Evil Requiem arrives to an immense bang on Steam, smashing series all-time player record. I'm telling you, this game, like event game, is the way to I'm gonna keep positioning it. It feels like it was set to go off like a bomb. Here it is, 267,000 concurrent players on Steam as it arrived overnight. That was midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. I think this game has earned it. Like the buzz is pretty high around it. It has great reviews, and now people are going to get a chance to play it. It certainly feels like another moment for the series that's had multiple moments at this point, right?
And I have to say, what makes this game so amazing is the pacing. It does an amazing. I have about 2 hours into it, but the pacing is beautiful.
Those first 2 hours, yes, they're relentless. They go back and forth. You just can't wait to see what's next. Yeah,
it does a good. And that's what's really gonna grab folks. Like Resident Evil is all the way back, and it gives you everything you liked about the previous Resident Evils. This gives it to you in spades. Like it's there. Oh my god!
You're right. I mean, it's worth pointing out. Like, of course it's back, right? But now this is the first like Leon Kennedy new game since the 5 and 6 era. And it's like, now this really does put a period on the end of the sentence. Resident Evil is back. It's like, those Ethan Winters games were awesome in their way, and this is like, oh no, this is like that but better, and also like the old Resident Evils but better. Very cool stuff. So I highly recommend it. Loved it.
All I have to say is Black Spot. For those who know, you know.
We are going to wrap up the headlines with that, everybody. We have a poll question we should get to from yesterday as we do kind of run into the hour here. Let's see here. I'm going to refresh and get the most recent results. Are you getting Resident Evil Requiem this weekend? Yes, no, and not yet, but I will soon. Not yet, but I will soon was 25% of respondents. Then 33% was no, meaning our number one response was yes, 42% of the 3,500 people that voted on this planning to get it. Yeah, and you could see that apparently it's already above 300,000 concurrents right now on Steam, and we are in the morning time still in a lot of parts of this country. So by this evening, that game is going to be maybe at like 800,000 concurrents, something crazy. It really feels like it could do that. Yep. All right, we did that. There is no new poll question because we're going to wrap up the week with the Bomb 12. Peace to E3. May it rest in peace, of course. Baron, in the meantime, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, and all that good stuff.
So if you're in the YouTube chat, that LV1 Gaming 20, that is us. So please go and click that and subscribe. Numbers help us get to do cool stuff. And we need all the help doing cool stuff that we can. But yes, we have a podcast today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at YouTube, on YouTube. You can find us at LV1 Gaming 20. LV number 1. And then of course our website, lv1gaming.com. Consider supporting us. We have no ads on our website because yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just come out and support. We talk gaming news. We like to have fun. We like to have a good time. If you think I'm silly, you should see the rest of the team. They're amazing. I'm definitely the run of the litter. But it's thank you so much, Jeff, for having me here, man.
Of course.
Giant Bomb, you guys are amazing. Anything you guys do, I'm always clearly deep cut supporter. He had hair. Yes, it's not a mystery. But
I'm going back. It's going to be back eventually. Don't worry.
Let's go. But yes, guys, anywhere you see the Phoenix, that's where you can support us. LV1 Gaming everywhere.
Thank you, Baron. All right, let's see here. For Giant Bomb, we are going to have a kind of a busy day. We got a little bit of a break, but we're probably going to be work on some stuff in that break. But then later on, we're going to be back with UPF. Sean, we're planning on still doing Next Fest, right? And you're hanging out for that. Jan is out for the rest of the day, so he's going to be helping us out with that. We'll play some Next Fest demos. Sean, you bring a couple. I'll bring a couple. I think Mike has a few. Dan might have something. We'll just hang out. It'll be a good time. And then let's see here. We are going to have a pretty special evening. Mike Minotti is going to be doing his day one stream for Resident Evil Requiem. He's going to be starting it from the beginning on PC. So watch along and see what he's got as he also stands next to the gravestone of E3. Hell yeah. All right. So Giant Bomb stuff happening. You should tune in next week. Go to giantbomb.com/join one more time. Become a premium member. Find all the new stuff. Marry Me Tomodachi, Grubb Snacks Premium. There is other stuff in the works that I can't say yet. There's 9 lives of Mr. Mistopheles. Check that out as well. In the meantime, let's wrap things up for the week, as we always do around here, with the Bomb 12. These are the 12 games that really matter to people who are really playing video games right now. We have the results from your submissions. Let's go through the most recent Bomb 12, starting with number 12. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Number 11 is Warframe as our number 11 most played game of the week. Number 10 is World of Warcraft. Number 9 is Menace. Number 8 is Demon Tides, which that's a pretty good representation there. I bet that game's going to keep popping up on the list and maybe go up even higher as word of mouth around it continues to be really positive, and its reviews were really, really good. Number 7 is Hades 2. Number 6 is Deadlock, which continues to kind of float between here and the top 3. Neo 3 at number 5. Number 4 already with like a couple of hours of voting is Resident Evil Requiem. Expect that to be number 1 next week. Number 3 is Karen. Number 2 is Overwatch. Hey, Resident Evil's is back. Overwatch is back, period. And then number 1, as it was last week, Mugenics. People still seem to be very into that game. Baron, what would you vote to add to the Bomb 12?
Horripilant. Horripilant.
God bless you.
Yeah, Horripilant. I'm so hooked on that game. It's so...
Wait, what is this? I don't know if I know what it is.
It's a idler where you wake up as a knight in a dungeon and all of a sudden there's a creature in a hole that's God, and you got to kill him.
Sure,
It's
like a video game.
Yeah, typical Final Fantasy fashion. Start off small town, and now we're taking on creator. But it's so addicting. This is a simple idler that, at its core, of course, is very simple. But there's so many different mechanics. You got a skill tree, and you got rebirth mechanics. You got puzzles. You have a map with inputs, and then an infinite dungeon, and it just.
If you like clickers, you should check out Click Bomb, which is the giant bomb idle clicker. You just Google it. It'll take you to our website. It's free on the web. It was really good. Chuck made it for us. The guy who made our website. I want you to play it and report back because it's quite a bit of fun. I'm in there a bunch of times. You'll see my face drawn as a cartoon usually. All right. Let's see. That's the Bomb 12 for the week. I'm going to update the Bomb 12 on the website. So if you go to giantbomb.com and you scroll down, you'll see those games as I just listed them. But then you'll also see a link on the left-hand side where it says vote here.
You do it. You jerk. I was like, why is it not updated? Why is my graphic out of date? Of course it was Grubb.
Wait, what happened?
Okay. I had the wrong graphic pulled up because I thought the website was up to date.
Oh, no, you got to have the Figma. I'm sorry. I thought he would just have that as a scene in the thing. So it's mostly my fault. I always update that afterward. I should have communicated, Sean. You're right. That's my fault.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll get that updated. But most importantly, the link. You'll find the link for the new form to submit your game for next week on giantbomb.com. If you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see the Bomb 12 there. Do that. We'll get an updated Bomb 12 to round up next week. In the meantime, I think what we do now is we just say, Baron Jones, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and talk about video games, man. I really appreciate it.
Do you know what? Video games are awesome. What are we doing here? Why are we talking about it? Let's go be about it.
We should go play some video games. It's Friday, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.